Hi, and welcome to Random Rogers Big Picture for the week of February 22nd. Two things this week, kind of a psychology thing and then kind of a stock market thing. Forgive the cold. If I sound funny, that's why. I'm just getting over a cold. I hope I'm just getting over it. How about that? So I was talking on Friday to a buddy of mine who, similar to me, manages separate accounts. He has a partner. They've got clients. And he manages separate accounts. He's had a bit of a rougher go than I have. In 2008, he was much closer, a little ahead, but much closer to the market than I was. And he said that he's in lockstep with, or about the same, I think was his exact words, about the same as the market for 2009. So we were kind of talking a little bit about that, what went right, what went wrong, and then on my end, what's gone right, what's gone wrong, that type of conversation. And in having the discussion, I had a realization that, the amount that you're down really becomes a psychology issue. Let's face it, if you've been with this blog for a while, I've been incredibly lucky bringing out my fancy tools again. Where this hand is the stock market and this hand is the portfolio, we've kind of had this effect going for a while. So very lucky, but clients are down nonetheless. And some of them are expressing different, and it's all reasonable. It's their money. They did whatever it is they did over their lifetime to, accumulate that money. But they are worried, even though they're down nowhere near the 50%. And so I think there's a psychological lesson in that, you're down whatever it is you're down, and that triggers whatever response it triggers. But there are people who are worse off in this than you are. So if you are down the same 50% as the market, okay, that is too bad, and that is going to weigh on you. I get that, but there are people that are down more. They're down 60 or 70. If you're down, 20, 25%, that is going to weigh on you some amount. It's going to trigger some sort of response. Perhaps it's like egged on by the fact that the market is down more than 50% from its peak in such a short period of time. But there's really a psychology at play here, and hopefully you can, take a step back, realize what's going on. This is a freakish, I kind of alluded to this on Friday, this is a freakish market event. 2008, a 38% decline in a calendar year. That's nuts. That's absolutely crazy. I'm talking about the S&P 500. That is some crazy action. It's once-in-a-lifetime type stuff, or once-in-a-generation type stuff. Hopefully you realize that for what it is. Doesn't mean that we don't go to SPX 600 or 500 or 400. I don't know, but this is, the middle of the event. And hopefully the stuff that I was talking about now, if somehow you've been fighting it all along and you're fully in, I don't know what to tell you, but hopefully you take some lessons for the next bear market cycle. This is going to end at some point. I don't know when. My opinion about when is probably turning out to be wrong, but it will end at some point, and then a new bull market will start. It'll last for a while, and then the next bear will come along, and that will be that. And so hopefully you can grasp, this is an important thing, and realize that what your psychology might be doing to you. If you're down 25% in a down 50% world, that's pretty damn good. The market is going to continue to function one way or another. You've avoided a lot of pain. If you're down 30% in a 50% world, if you're down 40% in a down, you're sparing yourself some pain. And the psychology of what all is going on, what you hear about in the news, what you read and see, maybe that is having an effect and not allowing you to see that, but hopefully you can. And if you're feeling every bump down, learn from the experience. We can infer that if you are down the same amount as the market, you took no defensive action. Learn from that and do something better the next time. That's kind of a, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps type of thing, which is a great segue into whatever the hell it is that we're doing with the mortgages and all of that stuff. It's still confusing, the exact details. Someone will tell me, just go read the plan. Well, it's to me, it's not that simple. I may not be a bright man. That was Forrest Gump. But it is confusing what exactly we're doing. But as I think about it more and more, it is upside down that what we're bailing people out on. I heard another guy. I made a comment on the blog about Obama specifically mentioning people losing their job or getting sick. Helping those folks. Someone else from the administration, I don't remember who it was, I heard him come on, and he said similar things about, losing a job to no fault of their own. Those are normal, everyday risks, and bailing those out, I believe, becomes problematic. And I guess this is a repeat of what I said, but I'm just becoming more convinced that that is the case, which will circle to one last thing, which is something I've been talking about for ages, which is what diversification is owning things that are on different cycles. You're not going to get a negative correlation type of thing, but owning things that are on different cycles so that they might turn up sooner or whatever. And that's what's happening in some foreign markets. I've been writing a lot about this on Green Phosphate, but if you look at what China is doing, at what Brazil is doing, some other countries like, take the time to look. Go to the Yahoo Finance World Indices page and just start looking for markets that are turning up. It is happening exactly as I said it would. And that's not my patting myself on the back for a prediction. That's just how things work. That's always going to be true. Things are going to roll over sooner and they're going to turn up faster. If you're lucky, you'll figure out which ones those are. I never abandoned Brazil. I kind of got back into China at a pretty good time relative to the big picture. The stock I chose, the timing was poor, but in terms of the Chinese market, the timing was pretty good. And just because, down 60% discounts a lot of bad stuff. Now, maybe this will turn out to be a head fake or not, I don't know. I just know what's happening right now. Things are starting to turn up elsewhere. And if you want to give yourself a shot of achieving that number on an annualized basis, that number that's in your financial plan, then hopefully, and if you've been reading this blog, then maybe you've been doing this for a while, you need to start thinking, outside your horizons or whatever. Hopefully I'm saying that in a way that makes sense. I'm going to cut it there and go get some cold medicine. Have a good weekend.